Hi, my name is David P. Shapiro. I'm the owner and managing partner of the law office of David P. Shapiro, located in San Diego, California, where my firm helps good people regain control of their future when charged with a crime. And one of the cases that we handle primarily at my firm, we have a lot of experience with, a lot of active experience, a lot of past experience, and in all likelihood, a lot of future experience handling, are serious cases involving sexual assault, whether it's rape, whether it's child molest, whether it's indecent exposure, anything along the lines of a sexual assault, or is commonly referred to as a sex crime, particularly in San Diego. We handle these cases quite frequently. And a lot of these cases and a lot of the results or the success we're able to have with these cases hinges on the forensic psychological evaluation. So I want to, in this video, go through with you what is, one, a forensic psychological evaluation, what is the importance of it, why is it in some instances actually required by law in order to get a certain outcome on a case, and how it can be used and how it should be something that should be discussed between you and your attorney when assessing the best strategy moving forward for your sexual assault case or your sex crimes case to defend you the right way to ensure you get as good, if not a better result than possible, or at least initially thought possible. So what's a forensic psychological evaluation? Well, in the context of a sex crimes case, right, there's different types of psych evals. Doesn't mean anyone's crazy. It doesn't mean they're not fit. It's basically a really good way of giving a lot of information to a prosecutor, to a judge, when you're negotiating a case, when you're negotiating a sentence, about your client, to learn about their background, to learn about their mental capacity, to learn about any experience, any trauma they experience, any diagnoses, any mental health diagnoses, any substance abuse diagnoses they may have, to really look at it and differentiate that individual from everybody else who may be charged with a certain crime, who may have the same weight of evidence for or against them as anybody else out there, to ensure that they get the best outcome possible. So here's a situation. If you have a client, you're a client or you're a defendant charged with an offense and it's a sexual assault in nature, there are certain offenses where in order for you to even be probation eligible, which means that if you get convicted and if you want to stay out of prison, you have to have actually a psychological evaluation and report prior to sentencing for the court to consider whether or not you're a quality or a decent candidate for probation. That's really, really important. We use it a lot of times in my firm proactively, in the sense that we will have our clients go submit to a forensic psychological evaluation, meet with an evaluator. They will write a report, and then we'll determine, well, is there any value in this report right now? Is there any value in this report maybe later on where we don't share it right now? And how are we going to use this report to cast our client in the best light? And a lot of times in the context of sexual assault cases, it's to show not necessarily whether or not something happened or not. That's not the evaluator, that's not the forensic psychologist, the doctor's role. It's to go through risk assessment. And it's to sort of map out a plan. And some of the best success we've had is where, the forensic psychologist will go through it and say, okay, I've been asked really for these questions. Are they a danger? What can we do to minimize the danger moving forward? To give everyone the peace of mind that even if something did happen as it is alleged to have happened, that it's less likely to happen again, and particularly if we have a plan in place, right? And we see it a lot where judges or prosecutors will turn to defense attorneys and they'll say, well, what's your client's plan? What's your guy's plan? What's your gal's plan? And the defense attorney will be like, oh, I don't know. I don't know what they're going to do when they get out. Or I don't know what they're going to do to minimize the risk moving forward. Well, what is that telling them? What is that telling the prosecution? What is that telling the judge? Not a whole lot, right? So a forensic psych eval could outline what's going on with you, or what has been going on with you, and what we could do to ensure that something like this never happens again, assuming it happened in the first place. Okay, this video is solely to use the psychological evaluation as a mitigant, not necessarily as an outright defense. That's another day. That's a much longer video. But for this video, what we're talking about is to use it as a negotiating tool. Super, super valuable. It's also important that you be honest when asking or when answering questions from the evaluator, because a lot of times clients try and outsmart or think they're going to outsmart the test, and that actually shows up as being deceptive on the test, and that's not a good look, right? Because you're sort of killing your own credibility. These reports usually are done over the course of 1 or 2 visits, a couple of hours each time. They can be done if you're in custody. If your loved one's in custody, they can be done at the forensic evaluator's office. And we help out obviously as much as we can to get the doctor, to get the evaluating team as much information as possible about the case, about the client, about their past, about their present, about their future. So we really differentiate our clients from everybody else out there. A big part of that is using a forensic psychological evaluation. So if you have any questions, particularly in the context of a sexual assault investigation, or if you're accused of a sex crime and you want to know how a forensic evaluation can help you and how my firm can help you regain control of your future, get you the best outcome possible, as good if not better than anyone else can for you, feel free to give my firm a call, 619-295-3555.